Frank coming at you again. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for viewing Frank's EC, Frank's Evangelone channel, Frank's Engaging channel, Frank's Hopefully Exciting channel, or maybe still Frank's Eclectic channel. Welcome back. Well, the Fall Feast of Almighty Yah are over. The 7th Hebrew month is passing soon, and we will be into the 8th month. And with that, we know that the annual Torah cycle starts over. And so we're in Genesis Bereshit. There's a lot to focus on there, but I want to focus on one thing. We're going to dive into that subject here. Coming up next. Well, what's the subject, Frank? Are you going to start with Bereshit, Genesis chapter 1 and 2, talk about creation, talk about the Sabbath? What, Frank? Well, are two types of wisdom. We're going to look at Genesis Bereshit chapter 3. I'm going to focus on verse 6 primarily. It talks about gaining wisdom. And Hava, or Eve as most of you would call her, is going to get to make a deal with the devil. This is the sort of let's make a deal program, except there's not 3 doors, there's 2 trees. The slippery snake doesn't talk about the tree of life. He ignores that, which is in the garden along with the tree of knowledge at the center side by side. Had Adam and Hava chose the tree of life, we wouldn't be talking about this tree of knowledge today, of good and evil. So that's what we're going to focus on, because there's 2 types of wisdom. The serpent says to Hava, or Eve, it'll make you wise. She looked at the fruit and said, hey, this is a nice looking tree, pretty fruit, everything looks delicious. What my eye sees, I like. But the word for wisdom here is not the word that's used in Proverbs 8. In Proverbs 8, someday I'll learn to enunciate better. But anyhow, Proverbs 8 for the word wisdom in English is chokmah in Hebrew. However, here in chapter 3, verse 6, usually translated to make one wise or to give one wisdom, is sakal. Totally different meaning. In English, they sound similar. So which one is it? Which is the better wisdom? Chokmah or sakal? Sakal actually means to prosper, to make one prosperous, learn how to make money, make one crafty. In other words, how to do slick business deals. It has a lot to do with winning out over somebody else. That's how it's kind of used. You're a real wheeler dealer if you're that kind of wise person. Well, all the weight of the bad decision is not on Hava or Eve. She looks at it, she takes a bite of the fruit, and Adam's not somewhere playing golf. He's right there beside her. Unusual conversation. We have this creature called the snake, the serpent, Nakash, which really means the shining, glistening bronze snake. That's a conversation for another time about a bronze snake on a pole. But I digress. So what does she do? She hands it to Adam, and he takes a bite, and that creates the problem. Because they could have chosen from the other tree. They get a deal made to them. And have you ever entered into one of those deals? I know some people that got one of those timeshares. I'm telling you what. Talk about a deal with the devil. A timeshare is a deal with the devil. I like to never got out of that thing. So which wisdom do you choose in let's make a deal with the devil? Wisdom that will ultimately destroy you, or wisdom that will ultimately save you? 2 different words for wisdom in Hebrew, and very profound. Rabbi Shaul, or as we call him, the Apostle Paul in some circles, talks about the wisdom that's earthly and devilish, and the wisdom that's heavenly and godly. So which type of wisdom are you going to embrace? We'll dive into a few of those scriptures. In this journey, there's one question I like to ask myself. Why is Adam letting his wife talk to a snake? If you went somewhere and some slick guy tried to put the moves on your woman, would you just let him go at it? Not if you're a man. Adam's just carrying on a conversation with the snake as if it's no big deal, when he should have thrown the snake out of his garden. You know, snakes in your garden are dangerous things. Why did he let it happen? He had the authority in the earth. He was given authority over the earth, and he failed to exercise that authority. Maybe he didn't recognize the threat. A lot of snakes are pretty. There's an old rock and roll song about a lady that picks up a half-frozen snake, sticks it in her bosom to warm it up and take it home, and the thing bites her. And, the whole song's about, she's dying. Why did you bite me? I saved you. And he goes, I'm a snake. Snakes do what snakes do. Can't change them. Can't change the devil. But you can protect your wife. You can protect your garden. Are you going to protect your home? Because there's a worldly wisdom that we all got to be aware of. It's this wisdom that was fostered on the world in the garden by the disobedience of Adam. Scripture says in 1 Corinthians chapter 1 and verse 9, I shall destroy the wisdom of the wise and set aside the learning of the learned one. In other words, Yah is going to do something that's going to set aside, bring to nothing this worldly wisdom. 1 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 6, we speak wisdom among those who are perfect and not the wisdom of this age. So, what kind of wisdom are we to be seeking? Nor of the ruler of this age, that's the serpent, that are being brought to nothing. Hadn't happened now, but it's soon to happen. Let's look at 1 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 7. But we speak the wisdom of Elohim, which has been hidden in secret, and which Elohim ordained before the ages for our glory or esteem. 1 Corinthians 3:19. For the wisdom of this world is foolishness with Elohim. He catches the wise in their own craftiness. And there Paul quotes Job 5:13. So, what wisdom are you going to follow? The Proverbs chapter 8 style wisdom or the world's wisdom? There's a lot of wise people in this world that are crafty. Politics and religion are full of them. They look good, but they're really agents of the snake. And if you make the wrong choice, it's going to bite you, just like the snake is going to bite you. So are you going to choose the wisdom of Elohim, Almighty Yah, to order your life by that? Or are you going to choose the wisdom that leads to short-term gain, the prosperity gospel, the get-rich-quick schemes, how to make money, because you're not going to take it with you? Pharaoh tried. They loaded the tombs up, and most of them got robbed, save for poor old King Tut. Somebody missed that loot. But ultimately, it doesn't go into the world to come. You can't buy your way into it, but there's an important thing about the wisdom that comes from Elohim. It's pure, it's godly, it's good. It helps you to walk in the ways and promises of the Almighty. You're going to live forever in one of two places, the New Jerusalem or the lake of fire. Trust me, you don't want to choose the lake of fire. So choose wisely. One has the tree of life, the other has the knowledge of good and evil. Hey, thank you for tuning into this short message. Please choose wisely. May Yah bless you and keep you and guard you from the evil one. Until next time, shalom on your home.